Another SU men's basketball starter is in the transfer portal. Welcome in to NCC Sports. I'm Nick Luttrell. Earlier today, Syracuse forward Malik Brown became the 5th SU men's basketball player to enter his name into the transfer portal. In an Instagram post, Brown thanked his coaches and said, quote, "I'm beyond grateful for the love and encouragement that you and Q's fans have shown me during my time at Syracuse," end quote. Brown averaged 9.5 points and 7.5 rebounds during his sophomore year this season for the Orange. At 6'8", he played the entire season as a center for SU and most surprisingly led the ACC in steals this past season. So we go from the men's team to the women's. Syracuse guard De'Asia Fair has officially entered her name into the WNBA draft, and this shouldn't come as a surprise to fans as Fair has completed her college eligibility and now prepares for the pros. Fair was an exceptional player for the Orange the past 2 seasons. After transferring from Buffalo in 2022, Fair took the ACC and really college basketball by storm with her crafty passes and deep pull-up three-pointers. In her grad year this season, Fair averaged 22 points a game, secured 3,000 career points back in January, and maybe most notably finished 3rd on the all-time scoring list in women's college basketball history. And speaking of women's college basketball history, a girl named Caitlin Clark played today. You should know her name if you don't by now. And I just talked about how incredible De'Asia Fair was during her career. Caitlin Clark, believe it or not, is better. And her Iowa Hawkeyes faced off in a big-time Elite 8 matchup earlier today against LSU. And Clark right there getting warmed up, and another player who's a star in the making. A star right now, LSU's Angel Reese trying to get her team to win back-to-back natties. We start the action in the first quarter. We just talked about her. Reese gets the steal on an errant pass from Clark. She finishes on the other end. Look at her. She is fired up. A quarter later, Clark this time maneuvering around Haley Van Lith, laying that one up and in. Tie ball game at the half, but you knew it was only a matter of time before Caitlin Clark would begin to do Caitlin Clark things. A deep 3 ball early in the third quarter, and not even 30 seconds later, look at her. She does it again. How about another deep ball for Caitlin Clark? Puts the Hawkeyes up 9, and folks, there's a reason why many have already solidified her as the greatest to ever play college ball, and I think you're seeing it right now. A step back beauty one play, and then later on in the fourth quarter, a textbook pass. Hannah Sulke puts the icing on the cake with that one, and yep, even Jason Sudeikis is amped up. Caitlin Clark finishes with 41 points and leads her team to a 94-87 win over the defending national champs. So we'll go from women's college basketball to men's lacrosse now. The Orange on the road tonight against the Big Red of Cornell. And before we bring you the highlights, let me just say this game had it all. Crazy goals, a crazy comeback, and of course a very crazy ending down in Ithaca. To the OG Q's lacrosse fans, maybe not as great as the 2009 national championship between these two teams, but no doubt an instant classic between SU and Cornell. And boy, it was a red-hot start for the Orange. And I mentioned how there was crazy goals, and this might be the craziest. Billy Dwan flicks that one between his legs to put SU up 7-0. Cornell would respond with 4 straight, but here's another flashy play. This time, Joey Spallina behind the back. He finds Twine, but the Big Reds still staying within striking distance. This goal right here would help them stay down by 4 at the half. But we'll skip to the fourth quarter because this is where things got crazy. Cornell scores right here what seems to be the game winner with 10 seconds left. But on the ensuing faceoff, Syracuse not only wins it, but Sam English scores a goal. So we're headed to overtime. Forget overtime, double overtime in Ithaca. And oh no, the Orange have been here before. Cornell walks it off. That's CJ Kirst who wins it for the Big Red, and for Syracuse it blows a 7-0 lead and suffers its 3rd overtime loss of the season. So it's rainy and cold for lacrosse. How about sunny and baseball? Sunny and hot for some baseball. Opening week continuing in the MLB. Yankees at the Diamondbacks will start in the 4th inning. All rise. Aaron Judge going opposite field for his first home run of the season. That puts New York up 1, but we'd head to extras, and Judge coming in clutch again. Bad angle taken by Arizona center fielder. So Torres rounds 3rd and heads for home, and Judge earns a standing RBI double. And there's a lot to be excited about for this Yankees team yet again this season, but that guy Aaron Judge, he is one of the top Dogs. So New York up 2 heading to the bottom of the inning, and it's Caleb Ferguson. He loads the bases but shuts the door when it matters most. The first time Yankee captures his first save of the season, and New York wins a thriller 6-5 over Arizona. If you thought that was entertaining, wait till you see what happened earlier tonight between the Rangers and the Devils. Curtis McDermott, you see him there on the left. Matt Rempe on the right, just, exchanging pleasantries. Next thing you know, the puck drops, and so do the gloves. McDermott and Rempe, they go after each other. A feud that began last month between the teammates, or between the opponents and the teammates between the Rangers and New Jersey. They get going, why not? Fans are loving it. McDermott and Rempe, they're going back and forth for an extended amount of time. Officials eventually would separate the fight, and 4 players from the Devils, 4 players from the Rangers, yeah, they're ejected. But hey, it gave the fans what they wanted, right? That's some NHL hockey for everyone at home. A nice fight there between the 2 opponents. But welcome you back inside the studio. Talked a lot of sports, Emily, but we also talked Syracuse men's lacrosse, and what a disaster in Ithaca.
That was a tough game for the Orange, and offensive coordinator Pat March, he was actually ejected from the game. How much do you think that affected this team?
We didn't even show that in the highlights, because I don't even know if people realized when it happened that Pat March was ejected from the game. But I think that was when Syracuse was up 6 or 7 early on in the first quarter, and it kind of collapsed after that. So surely it made a big effect not having your offensive coordinator. The Syracuse offense is one of the best offensive powerhouses in the country, and to not have your offensive coordinator obviously was a huge blow. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why Syracuse wasn't able to get the win and fell in double overtime. But man, heartbreaker for them.
A tough loss for the Orange. That's all for your sports today. We'll be right back with more weather right after this short break.